Okay guys, so here's the question I get all the time. Rick, I'm moving to the DC area. Should I live in McLean or Bethesda? It's one of the toughest calls to make because honestly, both are phenomenal. You're talking about two powerhouse suburbs that offer prestige, privacy, proximity to the city, and homes that make your jaw drop. But once you get under the hood, the differences start to show, and that's what we're doing today. I'm not just giving you numbers, I'm giving you the real life texture, what it feels like to actually live in these places. We're breaking it down from schools and real estate to commutes, taxes, lifestyle, and even those little quirks that don't show up on a spreadsheet. If you're on the fence, this is the deep dive that you need. And make sure to stay to the end where I give you some bonus sections that you don't want to miss. Let's go. Hey guys, my name's Rick Hartunian, your trusted friend in real estate here in the greater DC area. As a local realtor and team who has had the privilege of helping hundreds of families over the last few years with their real estate transactions, I truly hope that you find this information helpful. And if you do me a favor, send me an email at the email address in the description or choose the numerous ways I have available for you to reach out. I'd love to connect, get to know you, and help you start your journey to your next home here in the DC region. Bethesda, Maryland, McLean, Virginia, just a few miles apart, but worlds apart in how they live. Bethesda sits on the Maryland side of the Potomac in Montgomery County, where McLean on the Virginia side is in Fairfax County. Both are upper tier, both draw power players, CEOs, diplomats, senior level federal folks, and international families. They're each within 10 to 25 minutes of DC depending on traffic, but beyond that, very different flavors. Bethesda feels like a mini city. Think walkable streets, sidewalk cafes, high rises, and a dense downtown core. McLean leans quiet luxury, winding roads, gated homes, tree cover, and space to breathe. Now let's talk commuting, because no matter how nice your house is, the DC grind can make or break your lifestyle. McLean first, you're tucked right off the George Washington Parkway, which is a stunning drive into the city or down to the Reagan National Airport. You've also got quick access to I-66, Route 123, and the Dulles Toll Road. For metro access, the Silver Line runs through Tysons and into McLean, but unless you live in one of the newer developments, hugging the rail, you're likely driving to the station. Bottom line, McLean is built for drivers. You've got scenery, space, and some of the most beautiful commutes in the area, but you'll be doing it in your own car. Bethesda, totally different vibe. You're plugged into the red line. That means getting downtown without touching your steering wheel. It's a walkable urban core, and it works beautifully for people who want transit at their doorstep. Now the trade-off? Wisconsin Ave can be a mess during rush hour. Parking is tight and metro delays are part of the package. But if you want that true city-adjacent park your car and forget about it lifestyle, Bethesda nails it. So if you're car optional living with walkable everything, Bethesda wins here. But if your idea of a great commute is rolling down the parkway with a coffee in hand and a podcast on, McLean delivers. Now let's talk real estate, because this is where things always get really interesting. In McLean, it's all about space and stature. Think private estates that are tucked behind hedges, massive new builds with 5 bedrooms, plus a library and long driveways with actual gates. Neighborhoods like Langley Forest, Belantre Farms, and Salona Village are filled with homes that feel like they belong in a movie. The architecture, it runs the gamut really. Colonials, contemporaries, French country-inspired estates, but what you won't find a ton of are condos or townhomes. Outside of Tysons, McLean is mostly single-family homes. Average price for a luxury home here, around $2.5 to $6 million, but it's not unusual to see numbers well above that in prime pockets. Bethesda, on the other hand, offers a bit more range. You've got charming bungalows near Glen Echo, updated colonials and wood acres, sleek modern homes in Edgemore, and high-rise condos with concierge service right off Bethesda Row. The Lauren and Stoll Hall condos are top of the line and walkable to absolutely everything. Home prices run from around $800,000 for entry-level condos up to $4 to $5 million for newer luxury builds in prime locations. And there's more turnover, which means more opportunities to actually get in. The verdict here, McLean is more estate living, quiet luxury with lots of land, where Bethesda, you have more options, energy, walkable access to urban life. Both command a premium, but what you're paying for is a completely different lifestyle. All right, let's talk about schools, because for a lot of families, this is the #1 driver behind the move. McLean is part of Fairfax County Public Schools, which is consistently ranked among the best districts in Virginia. You've got 2 standout high schools here, McLean High School and Langley High School. Langley in particular is amazing, ranked in the top 5% nationally with sky-high test scores, tons of AP courses, and a reputation for academic rigor. Your private options, they're definitely strong. The Potomac School is incredible. They have amazing academics, 90-plus acre campus, K through 12 grades all in one place. And then you've got Madeira School, which is all girls and boarding optional, and Basis Independent, which caters to the STEM crowd. Bethesda falls under Montgomery County Public Schools, and Here you'll find a slightly different flavor. Top schools like Walt Whitman High and Bethesda Chevy Chase High School are known not just for academics, but for arts, global studies, and a more well-rounded approach. You want immersion programs? Bethesda has them. You want IB, gifted, or magnet programs? Check. And on the private side, you've got Sidwell Friends just across the DC line. This is where presidents send their kids. Holton Arms, Landon, and more, all with deep reputations and hefty tuition to match. In the end, you cannot go wrong here. McLean leans traditional, think AP heavy, test-driven, top-down structure, where Bethesda offers a little bit more variety, more arts and language, a little bit more flexibility. It's less about which is better and more about what fits your family's vibe. Okay, let's dive into what daily life really looks like here, because beyond the houses and schools, this is where the differences get a bit more real. McLean has a quieter, more low-key vibe. You've got the village center with local favorites like the Italian Oven and Sweet Leaf Cafe. There's a small town feel to it. People, they know their baristas, and Saturdays at the McLean Farmers Market feels a little bit more like a community reunion. But let's be honest, when McLean folks want more excitement, they head over to Tyson's. Tyson's Corner Center and Tyson's Galleria are only 5 to 10 minutes away, with everything from Apple to Chanel. For that upscale retail therapy, you're right there. Bethesda, meanwhile, is packed with energy. Bethesda Row is the heartbeat. It's where you'll find the Apple Store, Lululemon, Equinox, Blue Mercury, and some of the best dining in the region. Think Mon Ami Gabi for a glass of wine or Raku for sushi. It's more walkable, more event-driven. You've got outdoor yoga, live music nights, art festivals, and people out walking their dogs late into the evening. If you want to live in a place where something's always happening, Bethesda's it. In summary, McLean is a bit more slower pace, more private. It has more country club vibes, where Bethesda is a bit more urban, suburban, hybrid or mixed. It's full of life, walkable, and a bit more social. It just depends on what fuels you day to day. All right, guys, let's dive into a little bit more about the cost of living in these places and what each community has to offer here. So no matter how you slice it, the cost of living is different depending on which side of the river you land on. So Virginia first, McLean has no local income tax beyond the state level. The top state income tax rate is 5.75%. Property taxes, they're lower. In Fairfax County, it's about 1.03% of assessed value. Add in lower recordation and transfer taxes when you buy a home, and it's clear. McLean is friendly to high earners and business owners. Regulation-wise, Virginia is more hands-off. It's easier to renovate, rent out property, or start a home-based business compared to that in Maryland. Now over to Bethesda. Maryland has both a state income tax and a local county tax. In Montgomery County, that combined top rate can hit around 8.95%. Property taxes run higher here too. It's about 1.15% on average. And buying a home, expect steeper recordation and transfer fees. It's also more regulated, especially if you're a landlord. Tenant protections are stricter and building permits can be a little bit more bureaucratic. In the end, Virginia, or McLean specifically, is better for high-income households, entrepreneurs, and landlords, where Maryland, in Bethesda, offers more public services, but at a higher cost. Okay, let's get into the character of each place, because even if two towns look similar on Zillow, the day-to-day energy can be completely different. McLean is classic, buttoned up, and leans a little bit more traditional. You've got a lot of established families, diplomats, executives, and folks who appreciate some privacy. It's not flashy, it's a little bit more refined. You're more likely to find a private dinner party than a block-wide festival. And politically, McLean as a whole leans moderate to conservative, especially near Langley and the Great Falls Edge. Bethesda, total contrast. You'll find a younger skew, lots of professionals in biotech, international development, and academia. NIH, Walter Reed, and World Bank employees live here. It's a bit more liberal, more progressive, more publicly engaged. And it's vibrant. Farmers markets, cultural festivals, speaker events, and yoga in the park aren't just occasional. They're constant. In the end, McLean offers serene, high-end suburbia, where Bethesda brings a little bit more buzz and diversity and a globally connected vibe. This is less about age and a bit more about energy. So just decide what environment feels a bit more like you. Okay, guys, I wanted to add in a few bonus sections here, okay? Not something I do in every video, but these are two powerhouse towns like I mentioned. So first is some upcoming developments that are coming to both McLean and Bethesda. First, you have the Commons of McLean redevelopment. The Fairfax County Board approved a plan to transform the existing Commons of McLean apartments into a new mixed-use complex called McLean Crossing. This is going to feature residential units and public spaces like Dartford Plaza. Now, on the Bethesda side of things, you have North Bethesda Metro Station redevelopment. This is a significant project that is set to transform the area into a life sciences hub anchored by the University of Maryland's Institute for Health, with plans for up to 3.7 million square feet of mixed-use space. You also have Hampton House, which is adjacent to the future Purple Line station. This is a development that will offer 366 apartments, commercial space, and a public plaza. enhancing the urban landscape of Bethesda. Okay, let's talk about the local government and community involvement. Starting with McLean, you have the McLean Citizens Association, or the MCA. It was established in 1914, and it's a volunteer, nonpartisan civic association that represents the interests of McLean residents, ensuring their voices are heard in local governance. You also have the McLean Community Center, the MCC, which offers a range of programs and events, fostering community engagement and cultural enrichment. In Bethesda, you have the Bethesda Chevy Chase Regional Services Center. This center brings county services closer to residents, enhancing accessibility and responsiveness to community. You also have the Community Engagement Cluster, the CEC, and this works to build a stronger, more inclusive community by engaging residents and organizations in civic activities. For those of you that want to know what else there is beyond the standard metro station for transportation, in McLean you have the McLean Connector bus service. It provides additional public transportation options complementing metro services. There's also a new commuter garage. It's a 9-story commuter garage that's being constructed near the McLean metro station to alleviate parking challenges. In Bethesda, you have Project Connect. This aims to transform the North Bethesda metro station into a multimodal transportation hub. It's improving access to Metro Rail and all local destinations. We also have the Purple Line integration. This upcoming Purple Line will enhance connectivity, offering a light rail transit system with 21 stations, including connections to Metro Rail and other transit networks. Okay, a few hidden local gems. Starting in McLean, you have the McLean Central Park, recently reopened with a new pavilion. This park offers green space and recreational opportunities for residents. You also have Share of McLean. This is an all-volunteer, nonprofit organization that assists neighbors facing food insecurity and economic hardships. In Bethesda, you have the Bethesda Green. It's an organization dedicated to creating a sustainable community through environmental education and innovative business development. You also have some community events. Bethesda hosts various cultural and community events, enhancing the town's vibrant atmosphere and community engagement. And lastly, let's just touch on some utility costs and a bit more about property taxes. In McLean, the property tax rate is approximately 1.03% of assessed value. And for utilities, residents typically use Fairfax Water and Dominion Energy. In Bethesda, you have your property tax rate, which is around 1.15% of assessed value. And for utilities, services are provided by WSSC Water and Pepco for electricity. Okay, that was a lot of information. Let's just break it down a little bit further and leave you with a little bit of a summary. Choose McLean if you want space, quiet, and privacy, an estate-style home on a large lot, proximity to Tyson's, Dulles Airport, and Great Falls Park, more of a country club vibe or a legacy family vibe. And you'll choose Bethesda if you want walkability, restaurants, and a bit more nightlife, a shorter red line commute into DC, a diverse, energetic, globally minded community, and more housing variety, including luxury condos. Look, guys, there's no perfect answer, okay? Just the perfect fit for you and your family. McLean and Bethesda are both phenomenal, but how you live, work, and spend your free time should drive the decision. If you're thinking about moving to either of these incredible places, or you just want to explore your options, make sure to reach out. I've helped dozens of families make the same decision, and I'd be honored to help you guys as well. Make sure to check out these videos here if you want to see what either Bethesda or McLean look like in person. I've done 2 4K full driving tours of each city, so you can see it from afar. I'm Rick Hartunian. I'll see you guys next week.